Good evening and a warm welcome to Pallikkutam GlobalConnect 6. This weekly program was conceived by Rajagiri Media as a platform for experts in various areas to interact with stakeholders in education. And we are glad to note that this event has been a success from its very first event itself. The nation is united in emotion over the record performance of Indian subcontinent to Olympics. As we all know, the Olympics motto is Citius Altius Fortius. As we battle with the pandemic, it is time to build our endurance despite the restrictions on our movements. Today, we are fortunate to have Mr. Nixon Joseph, Fit India Ambassador, a successful banker, CSR expert, former president and COO of SBI to address us. Despite starting to run at the age of 45, he has completed more than 50 full marathons. He is a role model for the emerging India as determination and endurance only can take us higher in the growth path. On behalf of Rajagiri Media, I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Nixon Joseph and invite him to start his presentation on Fit and Sporty, Building Endurance in Children and Youth. I request all participants to mute your audio and raise questions in the chat box or wait till the presentation is over for the question and answer session. This event is also being streamed live on YouTube. Participants may also use the comments box to raise questions. Over to Mr. Nixon Joseph.
So good evening, everyone. And thank you, Nicey Matthew, for that introduction. I am very thankful to Sri Kumar Raghavan, editor Pallikkutam, for inviting me for this talk. I also appreciate Rajagiri Media and Pallikkutam for conceiving such talks on various topics. And as the Olympics has just been over, there is a lot of interest shown by everyone all over India in sports. And therefore, it's an ideal moment for Rajagiri Media and Pallikkutam to start deliberations on this very, very relevant topic. At the outset, I feel quite ironical that I have been invited to deliver a talk on fit and sporting, building endurance among children and youth. Because during my childhood and youth, I had no connection with the sports. I was fully focused on studies. I was as a student in the 1960s, 70s, 80s. During my school days and college days, the focus was only on studies. Because everyone wanted a job after studies are completed. And almost everyone, like parents, teachers, everyone used to tell, focus only on studies. Don't waste your time on sports. And I remember, like when I go back, remember my school days, I feel, think that only those who were not very good in studies were participating in sports or NCC or NSS, etc. So that was there was a reason at that time, because everyone, even every student, every parent wanted some job to be obtained after the studies are over, and therefore they thought if we spend time on sports, we would not be able to achieve that goal. Rightly so. And I devoted my time only on sports, only on studies, and therefore I feel quite amused when I have been invited to speak on building endurance and sporting spirit amongst children and youth. But Olympics has rekindled a lot of interest in sports and fitness, and I think this Olympics has exposed the world to the benefits of sports and lot of interest has been generated. And we should thank the media, the TV channels, the technology and all for bringing every moment of Olympics to us and showing us how exciting it is, how exciting the sports is. So this is the right moment that Rajagiri Media and Pallikkutam have thought of engaging deliberations on a very relevant topic. There are a lot of benefits attached to participating in sports, participating in extracurricular activities, but still, many of us were brought up with the thought that if we focus on extracurricular activities, our concentration on studies will get diluted. That's why, when Olympics happens, all of us want dozens of medals, whereas once the Olympics is over, we focus on other activities. In fact, Abhinav Bindra, the first gold medalist for India, he used to tell that Olympics is not every 4 years. Not every 4 years, it is every day. If we are not getting enough medals, maybe commensurate with our population, the main reason I would tell is we lack appreciation of sports. The sports ecosystem is lacking. If we are able to get a few medals this time, that is only because some development, some steps were taken in building up a sports ecosystem. And we should thank all government, sports associations, etc., and even private sector corporates for supporting athletes and sportsmen when in need. I am just going back to my own experience. Till the age of 45, I was not into any sports activity, as I told you. I was focused on studies, stood for top the university, etc. Joined the State Bank of India's probationary officer in 1985, and then till the age of 45, focused only on work. So at the age of 45, I thought I should change myself, because I thought life is much, much bigger than work. We use our talent only in one activity, work. Like leaving a home at 9 o'clock, returning back to home at 9 p.m. When that becomes the schedule, life becomes very, very mechanical. So at the age of 45, I felt life is becoming mechanical, life is becoming routine. There is no excitement. And I also felt that sportsmen, if you take all the sportsmen, be it cricketers or others, you find all of them inspire us. Why they inspire us? Because they are doing something differently. They are using their potential, whatever talents they are having to the maximum. They're proving different. That is why they are able to inspire us. I am a banker. I was a banker, and no one goes to a banker and tells you are inspiring. Whatever position you hold, even if you become the managing director of a bank or chairman, no one will feel that he or she is inspiring, because most people are doing the same thing. So at the age of 45, I thought I should change. I should be able to inspire others. And how to inspire others? By being different. So how to be different in a banking sector? I was thinking about that for so many months. Finally, an idea struck me that in banking sector, no one does long distance running. That was in 2004, 2005. No one was doing long distance running. I thought this is something which I can do, but I had no athletic background. I had no idea even what was a full marathon. I decided that I will participate in the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon and complete 42 kilometers, full marathon, and become different. So this was why I chose marathon running, is because I wanted to be different from all the 250,000 officials of State Bank of India, and even in the banking sector. Banking sector, we have 1.1 million employees. I thought I should be different from them. I registered for the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. My family, my friends, my colleagues, all of them came and told, don't venture into such activity. You remain in your comfort zone. You focus on your office activities. There is no need to take interest in such activities. Many were discouraging me. And then I was thinking about my school days also. In school days, we were not allowed to even run in our school compound because the school didn't have a sports or much land around the school building. So if we were running or jogging and all, we would get punishment even. So this is one thing which we have to keep in mind, is that if we have to encourage sports spirit amongst the school children and all, we should have sufficient infrastructure. So the school in which I was studied at that Nirmala English Medium School, Alua at that time, they didn't have a proper playground. And the focus, all teachers were telling you, be study and top the class like that. And like when we go into back into our life memories, we find that so many people from childhood onwards, teachers, parents, friends, everyone gives opinion to us that you are only good as a student. You will not shine as an athlete. You will not become a good singer. You will not become a good actor. You will not be successful in life. You may be good only as a student. You may be good only as a doctor, as an engineer. You won't be good as a lawyer. All these opinions come on us, and over a period, we believe all these things. We become prisoners of such belief and live in a cage built by that opinions. I was brought up in the belief of so many opinions came that you are a very, very good student. You will not be a very good sportsman. You will not be a very good speaker. You will not be a very good singer, etc. This I believed. I thought at the age of 45, I'm coming out of this prison created by others' opinions. I'm going to prove that I can also do running. And all of us are endowed with a lot of potential, but because of all this, living in a cage, we are not exploiting our talents. Also, parents thrust their aspirations on children. I couldn't become an IAS officer. I couldn't become a doctor. I couldn't become an engineer. I couldn't become a banker. I should make my child as a banker or a chartered accountant or an engineer, etc. So at the age of 45, I decided I'm coming out of this prison. I went for the, whatever discouragement was there, I thought I will go and participate in the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. I started my running. After 10 kilometers, I couldn't go ahead because I was not used to running. At any sports, you can do well only if you practice continuously. After 8 kilometers, I couldn't move ahead. My body was paining like anything, exhausted, didn't know what to do, dehydrated, all joints giving aches. I thought I will surrender here. And so many of the opinions of my colleagues and all came to my mind that you won't even complete 5 kilometers. You won't complete 10 kilometers. So all this came into my mind. I thought I am not going to surrender. No one asked me, compelled me to run this marathon. I decided myself. If it were so easy, everyone would have participated. And if I stop here and surrender, I won't be different from all the 250,000 SBI employees. So I decided to continue my journey. I dragged myself to the 42-kilometer finishing point. It took 7 hours, 15 minutes for me to complete 42 kilometers. But when I got the finisher's medal, I was overjoyed because from zero physical activity, I have completed a full marathon. And we should remember that amongst the world's population, 0.00001% of the world's population complete a marathon. It gave me the message. When I got the finishes, but it gave me the message that if you are determined, you can achieve anything in life. I improved my practice. And every year till 2008, that is 4 years continuously, I participated in the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon Mumbai and improved my timings to 5 hours. That means by 2008, I completed 4 full marathons from a stage of 0 running, 0 physical activity. I was posted to Japan, where I was heading SBI's Tokyo branch. In Japan, I saw 60-year, 70-year, 80-year, 90-year-old man, woman, all taking care of their body like anything. Cycling, running, jogging, swimming, trekking, working out in the gym. I was amazed by the way the Japanese take care of their body. And it's not only youngsters, elders, 80-year-old, 90-year-old people. And I found 80-year-old, 90-year-old man, woman, all running faster than me. So I thought I should use more of my potential and started running 2 full marathons per year. And when I returned from Japan, I decided to continue running. In Japan, what I learned was that people after 60 years, in India, after 60 years or 56 years, we retire from our work. We retire from our work.
Prayer for the faith party.
In India, I have found after in India, what I have found is that after 56 years, 58 years, 60 years, we not only retire from our work, we also retire from our life. We restrict our time just living within our house, taking care of our grandchildren, and not living life to its full potential. In Japan, I have seen the opposite. 60 or 70 or 80-year-old people start living life with renewed vigor and energy. That motivated me more, and I started running 2 full marathons per year. After returning to India, I started doing 4 full marathons per year. Why 4 full marathons is that every quarter you get a physical mental challenge before you. And when you are able to face a physical mental challenge, it excites you. It reveals your capabilities. It reveals your talents, your skills, everything. And you prepare for a marathon running every 3 months. It keeps you disciplined. It reminds you every time to practice on holidays. So till lockdown, I completed around 37 full marathons. And after lockdown, when everyone was disheartened, everyone was disappointed that we can't do any physical activities or exercise, workout outside our apartments or houses, I decided to do it inside my house. Because no crisis should stop our fitness activities. Many discourage me, telling that you can't run 42 kilometers or jog 42 kilometers inside your apartment. I proved them all wrong. I jogged 42 kilometers inside my apartment, giving the message that if there is a will, there is an inspiring way to achieve it. So many people, we avoid fitness, exercise, or working out or sports, etc., telling some excuses. But then if there is a will, there is a way to achieve all these things. So I completed 50 full marathons. Why I tell all this is to give, tell that, to convey that if we are determined, we can achieve anything. One. Second, till 45 years, I didn't know the pleasure which is coming out of sports and fitness activities. And once I started running and enjoying it, I found the excitement, pleasure which comes when you participate in sports activities or fitness activities. It made me very, very positive. It made me optimistic. It made me more determined. It made me take decisions on the spur of a moment. I started enjoying my extracurricular activity, which is practicing for marathons. And when I came back to office, I found I'm able to enjoy my office work as well. Because whatever good qualities you are having, it will not be restricted to one of things. It will become part of your habit. The discipline, the excitement, the enjoyment I had while running, participating in this activity, I carried to my office space, and I tell with pride that I enjoyed my working life much more after starting this, after taking to marathon running. I have inspired thousands of people, both within the bank and outside, and many of them have started fitness activities. From no physical activity till the age of 45, with no interest in sports, I began to take a lot of interest in sports. I have been nominated as a Fit India ambassador by the Fit India movement, which is a flagship program of the government of India to spread awareness about fitness. By taking interest in marathon running, by taking interest in sports, I came into contact with a lot of eminent sportsmen, be it Abhinav Bindraji, be it Karnam Malleshwari, Pullela Gobichan, all of them appreciated my taking to a sports activity after the age of 45. I also want to give a message that age is only a number. It is energy that matters. It is a will to live life. And I tell with pride that after taking to marathon running, I have brought life into my days. You feel like living when you face challenges. So, be it marathon running, be it any extracurricular activity, that would definitely change your perspective on life. And coming to today's topic, sports, how to encourage children, youth to come to sports. See, all of us are aware of the benefits which sports give. It's not money and job. What I am primarily what we should think is that earlier days, during the days when I was a child and all, we were brought up in the belief that if you take interest in sports, you will lag in studies. But it has been proved in various researches that taking to sports activities better your academic performance. Sports requires, participating in sports requires memorization. It requires a repetition. It requires a learning. And these skill sets will help any student, any youth, any college student to improve their academic performance. Also, any game, any sports requires determination, goal setting, how to build a teamwork, problem solving skills, how to effectively communicate to your team members, how to solve problems. So many of these skills, which are of great relevance now, can be acquired by participating in sports. So those days, parents, teachers were not aware of these traits which sports would inculcate. But now our parents, our teachers are aware of the benefit which sports can bring. And we should also keep in mind that recent Olympics, so many of the highly academic persons are winning medals. Those who studied in Harvard, Stanford, highly educated, those who have done PhD, winning gold medals, silver medals, etc. in the recent Olympics, proving that studies or sports is not an obstacle to excellent performance in any of these fields. So, our school teachers, our college faculties have to encourage students to participate in some form of fitness activities. And everyone, I have found these days, many of our youngsters get disappointed, depressed very fast. I would advise every one of them to participate in some physical activity, fitness activity, which will certainly dilute the depression, which will make you optimistic, which will give you meaning to life. And if if we want Olympic medalists, we have to encourage children to participate in sports, fitness activities from childhood onwards. We should understand children are naturally very, very competitive and love to outdo themselves. They would love to take part in activities, sports activities. But what happens is over a period of time, we have asked them to focus only on studies. And with the coming of technology, we have given them a mobile, or most of the time is spent on screen time if they are not studying. If our children should take interest in sports, we should be role models. Parents cannot be lazing in couches or chairs, watching TV, and then communicate to their children that the sports is very, very important. We have to be role models. We have to show to our children that sports is fun. Don't think about sports only in terms of medals. Sports has to be taught in terms of bringing fitness, enjoying. And if we are not able to enjoy, be it running or any sports activity, we won't be able to do well. So primary thing when if any one of us have to participate in sport is to enjoy it, to consider sports as fun. Even marathon running, I began enjoying it, otherwise it would have been a big burden on me. And I would tell that every activity, be it studies, be it extracurricular activities, we have to enjoy it. I always tell that, many people tell in bank, if you go to bank branches and all, customer service is not up to the desired level. What is the reason? We don't enjoy our role. If we are enjoying our role, we would be able to, we'll be excited every day when we go to our workplace. So, for inculcating sports spirit amongst our children, amongst our youth, one, all of us have to encourage, and all of us have to be role models. It need not be that we should be I would tell that it should not be that we should only aim at medals, winners. It should not be winning at any cost. It should be only introduction to sports as fun. Our focus is always on winning medals. So even recently I was observing, to participate in the Olympics itself is a great thing. It is a blessing. But then those who missed the gold medal or silver medal or bronze medal were not being felicitated in that desired level. Because we have all been brought up in a culture of winner takes it all, or winning at any cost. This attitude has to change. We have to encourage children, youth to take part in sports by communicating that sports is an enjoyable activity, sports is fun, and also showing that we ourselves are enjoying it. In marathon running, many people ask me the timing, in what time you completed the marathon. I always tell that for a 60-year-old man to complete a marathon itself is a great thing. And I enjoy the running course more than putting stress on timing. If I put stress on timing, I have to complete, I have to defeat Nicey Matthew, or I have to overcome Dr. Verghese or anyone. My focus will be only on my competitors. Instead, we should think about enjoying our run and completing at our own pace. So one thing is encouraging children and youth to participate in some form of physical activity. Second, The government, the local self-government, the private sector, public sector, all should come forward to provide the right infrastructure. That is another condition required to excel in sports. And third is, in our academics, sport should form a compulsory subject, not as an academic subject, but as something to be done in the field. Even in the new education policy, I think if sports is included, it's given importance, but more as an academic subject. It should be as something to be done in the field. I'll stop here because I would like to get questions from all of you. And I would tell all of you that I'm not a professional runner. I'm a recreational runner. I continue marathon running only because I enjoy this activity and I became aware and I enjoyed the benefits and still enjoying the benefits of participating in marathon, which is a 42-kilometer run. In spite of the hardships, in spite of the hurdles before me, I always try to complete the 42 kilometers. And then I I feel that this is something everyone should participate in because it gives you a wider perspective. Thank you.
Listen, sir, I request all the participants to mute your audio, please. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nixon Joseph. Let's now move on to the interactive session. Those who have questions can ask directly or post the questions in the chat box. So we have a question here. What are the requirements of a good marathoner?
It's a good question. I would tell that a marathoner first requires discipline. Discipline in the sense, unless you practice well, you won't be able to complete a marathon with satisfaction. So first requirement is practice. Daily practice, or at least practice for 4 to 5 days in a week. And then long hours of practice during weekend one. Second, you should be determined. Third is, don't be bothered about timings and the timings of your competitors or your co-runners. Run to enjoy. You may complete it in 7 hours or 6 hours or 5 hours or 4 hours. That is up to you. And don't exhaust yourself. Don't exhaust your body too much with the intention to complete within 3 hours or 4 hours or 5 hours to overcome your or overtake your fellow runners, etc. There should be only healthy competition. I am telling you, I completed 51 full marathons without bothering about my timing, without bothering in what time others are completing the run, because every run, every physical activity should be to improve yourself. If you are able to improve yourself, you will automatically be top your activities. So the focus should be, first I told you, regular practice, discipline, determination. And then the feeling that I should improve myself and I am not comparing myself with others. So these are some things which I learned from my experience. I will not tell a professional marathoner should do all this. They should have their own ideas and principles to go about. I'm telling about recreational runners. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that answer. We have one more question here. Now, schools only devote 1 hour per week for physical education. As per the CBSE norms, it would be 1 hour per day. What suggestions you have for schools and teachers?
See, I feel we should be happy. We are at least having 1 hour for physical education. we have to combine it with what they have to, like they have to spend time for studies also. So I think 1 hour per day is a good enough time. And for physical activity, like earlier we were focusing on illiteracy. Now all of us should focus on physical literacy. That means now the importance is that we should all be physically literate. It means that we should do some kind of movement, at least 1 hour per day. Be it dancing, be it just going around, just walking, jogging, some kind of, or just throwing a ball, some kind of physical activity we should do every day. And therefore 1 hour of physical education is fine. But then if the child feels that he wants to focus on some sports, then maybe after school time, he has to go to a specialist coach and train. Because what happens is most of our physical education teachers are good enough to just focus on the basic of physical education only. If you want your child to be good in some sports and etc., you will have to devote time outside your school hours and seek the assistance of specialist coaches.
Thank you, sir, for that. Now we have one more question here. What will be the right proportion of physical activities per day for a typical learner at different periods of their life or age of their lives?
I always feel that, I don't know, it's not scientific or anything. I always feel that we should do physical activity listening to our body. It should not be that Nicey Matthew has done 1 hour of running or jogging, I should do 1.5 hours. It should not be like that. Each person has to listen to his or her body. So let us do activities, whatever it is, listening to our body till we feel it is okay for our body without tiring or over exhausting our body. Whatever we do, let us do it gradually. Maybe initially you start with half kilometer of walking, then improve it to 1 kilometer, then improve it to 2 kilometers. Do it gradually, listening to our body and also having proper medical checkup. Best, I would tell, it's some people may be able to jog or run for 4 hours or 3 hours. It's good. Nature has blessed them, or they have improved their stamina to such an extent by regular practice. What we should all do is, we are all other than those who want to be professionals, we are all recreational sportsmen or runners, and therefore we should just listen to our body. Whether our body is feeling too tired, etc., then stop it there. One. And at least if we can do 1 hour of fitness activity, be it jogging, walking, or even dancing, 1 hour per day, that will be more than enough to keep us fit. But if you want to excel in these activities, we may have to do more listening to a specialized coach.
Thank you, sir, for that. We have one more question here. Can we not? Yeah, the question goes can we not think of teach new generation through sports so that it does not become something extra? Will it not reduce the burden of teachers to accommodate sports into curriculum?
No, see, what I find is that it is evolving in India. Sports, interest in sports is evolving in India. My generation and all, we were not taking too much interest in sports. Later, with the 1983 World Cup in cricket, people started taking interest in cricket. Similarly, now we find Olympians, we are having at least 7 Olympic medalists. And now everyone is aware of the importance of sports in the sense that sports also can be made a career. So if it's not be a sportsman, we can also be coaches, umpires, nutrition experts, sports managers. There's a lot of opportunities in sports. So all these were not there in the earlier days. So sports is having a lot of career opportunities, one. And as this awareness increases, our schools, our CBSE, our ICSE, all of them also will increase the time to be devoted to sports. And in the new education policy, I understand sports is given due importance. But then we should not leave everything to school alone. In our houses also, in our community also, there should be opportunities for children to play. There should be playgrounds. And also we should be encouraging our children to go out and play. All these are not happening to the desired extent now. Now, most of the children are happy with watching TV or on the mobile, playing mobile games and all. So we should try to distract them away from all these by showing how much fun is there in sports. Like parents themselves will have to come out, show how much fun is there in sports, so that children also naturally come and start playing.
Thank you, sir. We have one more question here. If we have to make players for tomorrow, then do you think 1 hour practice a day is enough?
See, if we should have players for tomorrow, 1 hour of practice is not enough. The 1 hour of practice which schools are giving are only to make them physically literate. Because every human being should move their body, and this 1 hour is providing them an opportunity to move their body. So in that way, we should treat this 1 hour cannot make anyone a national player. It cannot make anyone as a state player. If someone wants to take sports in as their career, want to be a professional player, they should spend more hours in sports. And there are many sports schools also now available. So those who are interested in sports should, who wanted to do a lot in sports, should get admitted in these sports schools and then continue their studies. For all others, just for an interest in sports and for making everyone physically literate, 1 hour of physical activity will be enough. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any more questions?
No.
Okay, sir, we have one question here. How much time did you practice?
See, I used to, after office, every day by 6 p.m., I used to wind up my office work. And 1 hour to 1 hour, 15 minutes, I used to practice on weekdays. And then during weekdays, I used to run almost 4 hours to 4.5 hours on weekends. So that was my practice regime. And whenever holidays are there, I used to run a lot. And wherever I go, maybe outside, excursion, picnic, anything, if I find some ground or something, I will at least do half an hour, 1 hour running there. So one thing I have found that if you take an interest to running, you'll find whenever you find a good running course or running ground, you will be you will give up everything else and start running. That's what I have experienced.
Thank you, sir. We have one more question. Are banks promoting sports and physical activities?
See, it's a very good question. See, if India should get more Olympic medals, our public sector companies, our private sector corporates, our government, our state government, our local self-government, panchayat, all should promote sports. Unfortunately, I find that in earlier days, banks used to, in 60s, 70s, 80s and all, banks and all used to promote sports. In one thing during some period, most of the cricketers came from SBI. Cricketers in the Indian team were from State Bank of India. But over a period, the focus in the schools and all, schools focusing on academics, banks also were asked to, demanded to make more profit, and the focus was mostly on profit. But nowadays I find interest is again reviving on encouraging sports. So many of the sportsmen are being encouraged by banks and other public sector companies. If you see many of the those who participated in the Olympics and all, they would have been employed by some public sector company or private sector company. And the banks as a whole are encouraging it, but then a lot more can be done. That will I can tell. If we want more Olympic medals, more medals in world championships, etc., we should encourage sports more. Not only banks, every institution should encourage sports, because sports is education. Sports makes you disciplined. Sports inculcates in it a lot of qualities, not only sportsmanship, your ability to think, ability to be positive, all these improves. And especially during COVID time, when people are very, very depressed, disappointed, etc., I find indulging in sports will make you positive, make you very, very optimistic. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for that. Do we have any more questions? So there's one question here. Is there any best time to practice?
See, it's all depends on each person. See, I have found many of coroners, many of the marathoners practice in the morning. But I wake up very late. I wake up only at 7 o'clock. Therefore, I don't do it in the morning. I do it in the evening. And it depends on your body also. Like if I have found that if I practice in the morning, somehow that day it doesn't go well with me. Whereas if I practice in the evening, I'm very happy, like it doesn't affect my other activities and all. Therefore, it depends on each person. As I told you, let us listen to our body. Let us explore our like talents we are having. Let us explore how much our body can take each activity and then adjust accordingly. There is no mad rush or aggressiveness in doing things. Don't think tomorrow onwards I will done 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers. No, don't attempt anything like that. Start with 1 kilometer. Be happy with it. Be happy that you have reached this. Be happy with minor goals. Then after 1 or 2 weeks, increase your goals. Only then you will enjoy whatever activity you are doing. Not only running, any other activity, be it football or hockey or any other activity. Don't listen to your body always. If your body is tuned to waking up early, practice in the morning. Otherwise, you can do it in the evening.
Thank you, sir. Are there any more questions? Okay, so as Gautama Buddha said, endurance is one of the most difficult disciplines, but it is to the one who endures that the final victory comes. Let's conclude this session keeping this in mind. We are grateful to Mr. Nixon Joseph for the insights that he has shared. I thank all the participants for being with us. Thank you all once again and have a nice evening.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.